Lori here. I'm here to start my next reading vlog. So normally this is the week that I head to New York City Comic Con and I run around a convention like a crazy person and I get all dressed up and I share my pictures with you guys. But for the first time in 5 years, it got canceled due to all the COVID stuff. So they're doing like a virtual event and I probably tomorrow will like peek on around the website and might buy a few things if they have any exclusives that I'm dying for. I really haven't been looking that much into it. I am a full-time teacher, so it's kind of fallen under the radar a little bit. But also, this week we do have a 3-day weekend, which is like the perfect week to have New York City Comic Con because then I get off on Monday because it's a holiday. But really, I'm just going to read a lot this weekend. I'm gonna do some yoga. I have 2 more days of work because I'm starting this on a Wednesday evening. Thursday and Friday there is gonna be a lot of content. Saturday and Sunday there's gonna be a lot of content. Then I'm off on Monday, so I just kind of put together a bunch of books that, like, some of them have a convention themed, some of them I've had on my TBR for a while. So I have about 5 books that I'm going to chat through. I doubt I'll finish all these by Monday because some of them are quite a bit longer. But I want to talk through the Comic-Con themed books first because there's 3 of those. The first one is Conquest by Sam Maggs. And this is a middle grade it's like a middle grade read set at like a comic book convention, and that's like all I need to know. I recently read Sam Maggs' The Unstoppable Wasp, and I really enjoyed that. So this is one that I wind up getting. I didn't know it was a novel. I thought it was like a graphic novel. But yeah, I'm really excited for this one, and I'm really missing con life. So these books all will kind of motivate me to read. Another one that I really have wanted to pick up was Girls Save the World in this one by Ash Parsons. And this is a book like set at a comic book convention, but then like a zombie apocalypse happens in like the outside world. That sounds super cool. I actually got this last year at New York City Comic Con and I haven't got around to reading it yet. So this is another one that has kind of like a con twist, which I'm really excited for. And then the last one that has a con twist is Conventionally Yours by Anna Albert. And this is when 2 big name fans go head to head at a convention. Love isn't the only thing at stake. And this is an LGBTQ themed novel that has to do with another comic book convention, which I'm super excited for. So these are the 3 that I really do hope to tackle this weekend because they all have some type of convention themed. But because I'm a glutton for punishment, I decided to add a couple more. This is the one I think I'm going to start with. And this is The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, Season of the Witch. This is definitely what I'm going to start with. And the reason it's the one I'm going to start with is because it's for the TBR and Beyond Reading Challenge. I need to read a book that is black or red on the cover. And I also really do want to start this TV show. And I started it a couple of times, but I couldn't like get emotionally invested in it because I felt like I was a little lost because I watched the Sabrina with Melissa Joan Hart. So I am going to start this tonight. I don't know how far I'm going to get, honestly, but I'm going to start it. It's also the vice presidential debate, and the last time I tried to read during a debate did not end well for my reading life, but I am going to start this one. And the other book I have on this is the Unmapped Chronicles, The Bickery Twins and the Phoenix Feather. I read Casper Tonk and the Everdark Wings in January and loved it. I guess that these are like, this is like a companion novel. So what I think I'm going to do is read this one first, and then I might read this one. So kind of read these back to back and then kind of see where I am. But another book that I kind of just throwed on here because it did have to do with the library because I'm trying to read on my library reads is Murder Under the Covers, a Bibliophile Mystery by Kat Carisi. This is another cozy mystery. This one has to do with books and reading. The last cozy mystery I just finished had to do with like, it was called the Vintage Kitchen Mystery Series. I didn't wind up loving it. So yeah, these are all the books that I am going to start from. I did say I think I'm going to start Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, and I'm going to bring Conquest to work with me tomorrow because I do have a little bit of a longer ride. I am going to start Sabrina. And if I do remember to update you guys, I probably will update you guys. But yeah, that's my plan. I'm going to start with this and see if I can make any reading progress before the debate. That's my goal. And I'll talk to you guys for that update. Bye. I'm back. It's about 5:30. I just got home from work. Today was a weird day. If you've been following my commute stories since I started going back to work, has been a disaster all around. Today we had another train issue and I was like super late to work. Like I walked in the door at like 8:30 and I start teaching at 8:30. So that was not good. I don't like being late. That's like my biggest pet peeve in life. I hate being late places, and it's been happening to me like 4 times since I went back to work, which is very, very frustrating. Oh, sorry, my books are falling because I was trying to pick it up because I have so many things on this table. And I just got back from work. I just won't wind up working out. I don't know what it is about the month of October and my commute having issues. I've been having so many issues with my commute. I've been commuting to school. This is going to be my 3rd year teaching. Well, sort of, if you don't count COVID stuff. It's been my 3rd year teaching. I have never had so many train issues in my life. So today was like not that exciting, and I was late to work, and I hate being late to work. I guess like the only positive of being late to work now is that my class sizes are so small, and most of my classes are fully remote. So like they weren't like missing me necessarily, and it kind of worked out because today was my first class was fully remote. Sorry, that's so much information, but that was why like my head was sort of in a different place today. But I did wind up making some progress on Sabrina the Season of the Witch. I actually wound up reading quite a bit. I wound up reading 106 pages. This is loosely inspired by the Netflix series. It's actually a prequel novel. I'm actually really liking it. I was a big fan of Melissa Joan Hart's Sabrina growing up, so this is definitely like a different take, and it's connected to the Riverdale universe. But you basically follow Sabrina as she's gonna have her first birthday, or her 16th birthday, where she either has to make a pact with the devil or Satan or not. And she winds up casting a spell on Harvey, who's her boyfriend, because she's not convinced of his commitment. And you have Ambrose, who kind of reminds me of like a Salem character in the original series. You have Hilda and Zelda, who are totally different than the Sabrina series. And it's a fun read. Then you also get these sections, like I'll show you, that is written in black text, and it's called What Happens in the Dark. And you get like Harvey's point of view, or you get Zelda's point of view. So you kind of get different people's point of view, and there is a couple of like mystical elements that are introduced, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm finding it to be a super fast-paced read, and I like that I'm getting background of all the characters, because that was what I struggled with the TV show a lot, because I felt like those aren't the motivations I know. So hopefully I'll be able to watch this series next. So that's my goal. And I know that there's 2 other books, but I think once I read this, I'll feel a little bit confident going into the series. And I do like the actors. It has Ross Lynch in it. It has this girl who I don't remember her name. It's a fun show, but I felt like I was missing the context and the world building. So yeah, that's my reading plans or reading update. I also am going to a Rick Riordan event, hosted through Books of Wonder, because Tower of Nero came out today. I do have it, it's over there, but the last time I tried to pick up that pile of books, they all fell over. So I am going to go get ready for that event, and I'm going to kind of read in the background and see if I can make some reading progress, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. It's Lori here. I'm back. It's about 7:48. I did actually wind up reading a little bit more of Sabrina. I'm now on page 144 in Sabrina Season of the Witch. It is really a fun read. I like it how it's like a deep dive into the characters. I do remember where the first episode starts, so I'm kind of seeing how it gets up to that point. We're also adding a few more supernatural elements, which I'm enjoying. And yeah, it's just giving me a nice background on the story. So I'm really enjoying it. It's definitely less plot heavy and more character heavy. Like, I feel like it really is like a small adventure to kind of get you into the know the characters, because again, for me, I did not read the Riverdale comics and the Sabrina comics going up. So it's just a nice background of the characters that are going to be featured in the book. In the TV show. And I actually am understanding their motivations a lot better, so that's actually really good. So I'm going to try to read a little bit more. I am watching a spooky mystery thing as like background noise. And when I'm done with that, I'm probably going to try to finish Enola Holmes tonight. That is my major plan. So I'm going to go read this, and then I will update you guys when I can. Bye. I'm back. I didn't wind up reading up to page 200, but I'm really close. I normally read to the end of a chapter, but I do want to read this tomorrow. So I actually did wind up making a bit more progress. Very interesting. It's definitely more of a character study, I'll say that, which I think is good for this read. I said that before. There is a small plot, like she cast a spell on Harvey, and that's having all these after effects. but you're really learning about the world and the characters and about her baptism that's coming up. I did watch the first couple of episodes of Sabrina, but I have a lot more background information about her family and her parents and her relationship with Ambrose. Really, really good stuff. So yeah, I'm going, and I like that every like chapter you get like a chapter from like another character's point of view. And they're all characters that we do see in the TV series, so I think that that's a very, very effective one. Like right now we're in a section about Harvey's brother, which is really interesting. So yeah, I will definitely check in with you guys tomorrow when I head home. It will be Friday tomorrow. And I probably am going to do a little bit of prep stuff, filming and stuff like that tomorrow, but I'll check in with you guys tomorrow, and I should be mostly done with this by tomorrow, which is good. And I do want to hopefully do some of the Comic-Con panels this weekend. Well, the New York City Comic-Con panels. So yeah, I will talk to you guys tomorrow morning. Bye. Hey here, I just got back from work. It is 4:55 and it is Friday. I have a 3-day weekend. I'm super excited. But I didn't wind up finishing Sabrina Season of the Witch. I would actually wind up giving this book like 3.75 stars. I thought it was a really interesting character information about the characters from Sabrina, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and I felt like it was really good information, and I felt like this book clarified a lot of stuff. Plot stuff, I felt like the plot was okay. I felt like it was a very, very simplistic plot, but I actually like that. I think that I enjoy that a lot because I was able to learn more about the characters that I necessarily knew, and I think it will make the show a lot more enjoyable. But if you didn't have that experience and you felt like the show was completely coherent, like if you had read the comics before or whatever, maybe this for the character dynamics wasn't necessary, but for me it was. So I wound up finishing this a couple of hours ago. And then I wound up picking up Conquest by Sam Maggs, but I only got like 8 pages in. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to do kind of a little bit of everything. I'm going to kind of try to plan for school scheduling wise, at least, because we do have, it's like I'm trying to plan. My planning for school is just going to be weird because I have 2 different types of classes that I'm planning for, and they're different ways I have to plan. So I have to do that. I have to make sure that I'm planned for about 2 weeks out, scheduling posts and stuff like that. And then I have to do a couple of other stuff, but I think I'm going to do most of that stuff tomorrow. And then I do have to do, my personal errands, like my YouTube and all those errands. So I think I'm going to start with my planning errands and get that out of the way, and then tomorrow I can do my like school errands, but I want to at least get the planning stuff out of the way. So I don't know how long that's going to take me. I do still need to work out tonight. I think I'm going to do that like a little bit later. I might like do my school stuff and then work out. But I'm going to check in with you guys when I'm ready to like enjoy myself for the evening. It might take me a little bit. But I also did finish Enola Holmes last night. I thought that was super cute. I really like Millie Bobby Brown as an actress. Again, I read the book like about like a year and a half ago. That movie plot I do not remember that at all from the book. It doesn't mean it didn't happen, but I just don't recall that plot. I don't even remember the plot, to be very honest with you. But I thought the story was really, really cool. Creative. I hope it gets a sequel. But yeah, I'm going to go do my prep planning for Google Classroom, and then I will see how long that takes me. Hopefully not too long, and then I probably will work out, and then I'll probably go to my other errands, which are not actually that long this week, which is actually pretty good. So I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Here. So I did wind up doing much more of my schoolwork tonight than I thought I was, but I did wind up doing about half my errands. So I'm actually going to go take a shower, kind of organize myself, and then just kind of decide what I want to do tonight. I am a little bit tired, I'll be honest. This week has been a little bit tiring and a little bit stressful. But I do hope to get some reading done tomorrow. I'm probably not going to read any more tonight. I'm probably going to pick a new show to watch. It's probably going to either be Sabrina or something a little bit spooky. I will keep you guys updated when I make that choice, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Right here, I'm back. It's about 9 o'clock. I just wound up doing my Instagram photos for the week. I always try to do work earlier so when I come home I can kind of relax. But I am going to go head to yoga. I actually have been really woefully behind on my audiobook listening, so I'm going to kind of let myself listen to that on my bike rides today, which when I go on them, which will be a little bit different because I've been listening to a lot of podcasts. If you listen to my What I've Been Loving August and September edition, I'll kind of get into that a little bit more, but I have been listening to quite a few podcasts due to the nature of the world and stuff. So I am going to go to yoga. It is a little bit chilly, so I'm going to bring a blanket. But I'm going to bring Conquest with me. I haven't read any more than 8 pages, so hopefully when I'm waiting for yoga, I can read a little bit more. And I also am going to continue listening to Arusha, Song of the Death, which I am really enjoying. When I come back, I'll check in with you guys, give you guys my daily agenda, and then we'll get to work. Bye, guys. I'm back. It's almost 12:30. I did wind up coming home from yoga. I finished my bike ride, listened to a little bit of Arusha. Definitely took a bit of a dramatic twist, I'll say that. The one thing I'm liking about this book is we do have a few more characters to kind of play off. The first book was very focused on Aru and Minnie and their little bird friend. This book, we have a few more characters that play with, which definitely increases the character dynamics. Right now, we have like 4 characters in the mix, and I'm really, really liking that. But I did wind up making a little bit of progress on Conquest, which now I'm on page 46, which is by Sam Maggs. This book is perfect for a Comic-Con weekend that is not a Comic-Con weekend. But it basically follows these 2 characters. It's Kat and Alex, which those are like my 2 favorite names for people. I love Kat and I love Alex, so I'm really happy. And their parents are very, very famous comic book illustrators, so they are kind of going to this con, kind of as private guests. But then there's also an element of that, and it's also told from 3 different point of views. It's told from Kat, Alex, and their older sister Fee, who has to watch them for them avoiding to get into some trouble. Also, Alex has autism and he's on the spectrum, and you kind of are in his head for a lot of the book. And I think that's really great representation, especially for a middle grade book, because I'm just liking that. But I love the Comic-Con elements. And then there's also like a quest element or like a scavenger hunt element that's introduced, and it's just great. I'm really, really enjoying it. I definitely hope to tackle the rest of this today. But I do have to go do some school errands. I'm finally gonna come up with my class list, which I know it's like 2 weeks since I started teaching, but it's just been so much happening. So that's gonna be my goal. And yeah, so I will come back when I'm done with my school errands, and then when I start my actual like my blog errands and stuff like that. It's not gonna take me that long, but I definitely do want to start reading Conquest today. So I'm going to go do that, and when I come back, I'll be ready to start my other more fun errands. But I have to do a few things for school, make my list, pick out the stuff I'm going to do for my bulletin board. Hope I can at least put it up. Last time in March, I did my bulletin board. I had it all ready, and then we closed, so I didn't get to do it. So I'm going to try to figure out what I'm going to do for that. But yeah, I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. Bye. Right here, I'm back. It's about 2:30. I'm still working. It's taking a little bit longer than I had originally anticipated. Our grading site has gone live, so I'm trying to make sure that everything's all coordinated. It's a lot. I teach a lot of classes, so I knew it was going to take me a while, but I'm trying to do a lot of prep work, so in the future, I could just print these sheets out every single week and kind of go from there. But alas, it's taken me a little bit longer. So I'm going to go keep working. And when I'm done doing all like my checklist stuff, I'll kind of check in. I still need to do one more thing. I need to get my bulletin board ready, and then I need to do some prep stuff. If I can do all this stuff today, and then tomorrow and Friday I have off, and tomorrow and Monday I'd have off, I'd be fine. But my goal is before the end of the day to finish Conquest. And I think I can do that. I just need to get this stuff done. I am like not a procrastinator, so if I know I have work to do, I will do the work first, and that's just how I always operate. So I'm gonna go back to work, and when I'm done with this and my bulletin board stuff, I'll check in with you guys and let you guys know what time it is. Hopefully it's not 8 o'clock tonight, but we'll see. Right here, it actually took me until 9 o'clock to do everything that I had to do. My editing for school, it took me a long time to do that. And then I had to do some blog stuff and some bulletin board stuff. So it did take me a while, and I'm exhausted. So I only was able to read about 48 pages of Conquest today, but I am really enjoying it. Actually, I'm probably going to go back a couple of pages, and I'll probably start at like page 42 tomorrow morning when I'm bike riding and stuff. But I was able to read a little bit more of Arusha and the Song of Death. I'm actually really liking that book. I can't wait to dive into that tomorrow. But again, I really was focused on getting all of my work done today, because I do have the next 2 days off as well, and I'm going to kind of focus that on kind of my enjoyment and my fun stuff and just kind of relaxing and decompressing a little bit. But I will check in tomorrow, and after I do my Skillshare class, I'm going to start a new Skillshare class. I'm going to go out tomorrow. I'm going to go for a bike ride. I'm going to go to yoga, come back, and really tackle Conquest. I also am going to craft tomorrow, but definitely today was not my reading day. I'm going to go watch either Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina now that I just finished the book that I was in the middle of reading, so I can start the TV show. But I'll talk to you guys tomorrow for another show update about what I decided to watch next. Bye, guys. I'm back. It's almost 1 o'clock. I did wind up running a few errands after I got home from yoga. I actually wound up listening to quite a bit of Aru Shah and The Song of Death. Really liking that book. I think I'm definitely preferring it to book 1 in that series. And I did read about 100 pages in Conquest by Sam Maggs, which, again, is just the book I need to be reading today because we are not at New York City Comic Con, but it has so many of my favorite elements. I love that there's a scavenger hunt element in that book because that's something that, like, on a smaller scale happens at events like that. Like, people will hide things and you have to go find them. And I remember one year we all were trying to find copies of Zenith that Sasha Ellsberg had hidden around the convention floor. I never found one, but that's, like, kind of very similar. But they also have a big scavenger. It kind of reminds me of the thing that the guy from Supernatural does, but in regards to, like, a comic book convention. So I think that that's kind of awesome. Sam Maggs is a great writer. Super fun. This book also does have a set of twins, and I've said this so many times on videos. I love sets of twins in my reads. So I'm actually going to go read for the rest of the day. Yesterday was super stressful with, like, the amount of stuff that I had to get done. It also looks like it's going to pour today and tomorrow, which is an honorary tradition for New York City Comic Con because it always rains on the last day of New York City Comic Con, without fail. So I'm going to go catch up on some of my booktube videos and watch that, and I will update you guys when I read about 50 more pages in Conquest. Bye. Alright, Harry, you're checking back in. It's almost 1 o'clock. I think I am going to go for a bike ride and hope it doesn't rain, but I did wind up getting up to page 160 in Conquest. This book reminds me so much of being at a con, so much, and I think so many of the things, like, actually happen that is happening to these two characters. You wind up meeting people you've never met, you wind up meeting your idols, and it's just so much fun. I've had experiences at book signings and conventions where I got to meet, like, Rick Riordan was probably the highlight of my own con life, getting to meet him and get him to sign a book. It was really, really awesome. But also, like, going to a con with someone and you not wanting to do the same thing, and that is sometimes a little bit frustrating, but I'm missing con life, guys. I'm missing it. It's the last convention I went to was ALA, and that was in Pennsylvania with my friend right before COVID hit. But I love Sam Maggs' writing style. I think she really is a fandom nerd, and you can tell that. It's just great. I also love that there's an element of a scavenger hunt. There's twin dynamics. There's family dynamics. And then you also have another point of view of Fee, who is the twins' older sister, and she is supposed to be keeping an eye on them. And she winds up falling into a path to actually become appreciative of the life her brother and sister lead. And she winds up meeting a new friend. It's just a great read. So I'm going to go for a bike ride while I still can, while it's still beautiful out. Hope it doesn't rain. And try to read a little bit in the park. I try to do that once every weekend. And it's going to pour tomorrow. So I will come back when... I'll check in with you guys when I'm home and let you guys know how much progress I've made on Song of Death. And if I was able to finish Conquest. I think I'll probably read another about 50 pages when I'm out. Talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. It's Lori here. I'm back. I did want to finish Conquest by Sam Maggs. It was a very, very fun, adorable read. I really wound up liking it. This is, like, my second Sam Maggs books that I finished in the last couple of months, and I really like her writing style. She kind of reminds me a lot of Ashley Poston, who writes very, very geeky-filled books. But it was just great. I really am missing my Comic-Con lifestyle. That's something I do 2 to 3 times a year, and even book signings and stuff, I just have not had the opportunity to, due to the state of the world, what's been happening. This book was adorable. Basically followed Kat, Alex, and their sister Fee as they are going to a convention. Their parents are big illustrators, so they kind of have that in. Alex has autism and deals with being on the spectrum a lot, and his sister Kat, his twin sister, is very into fandom life. So they are trying to solve a conquest which someone kind of put up, and they have to kind of run around the convention trying to get all these tasks done. And it was just so adorable. I would give it 4.5 stars. I think it definitely veered into, like, the darker sides of fan culture. as well, which I thought was actually really appreciative. So I'd wind up giving this one 4 stars. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about an hour off for reading. I'm going to try to do a 24-hour readathon. I always say I'm doing it, but you know what? I'm really in the mood to read. So I'm going to focus on 2 books for the next 24 hours. My 24 hours is going to start at 7 o'clock or 6 or 7 o'clock. I'll tell you guys the time when I decide to start. But the 2 books I'm going to focus on is another con book, and that is The Girls Save the World, and this one by Ash Parsons. This is another book that does have to do with a comic book convention, but there is a zombie apocalypse, I think, that kind of breaks out in the middle of this convention, and they have to save the world. I actually got this last year at New York City Comic Con. I never wound up picking it up. It's been on many, many TBRs, but if I'm right, there are certain people in hazmat suits running around, enthusiastic con players taking the shambling a little too far. The zombie apocalypse is here. So this is going to be the first book I'm going to start with. And then I'm going to pick up the Unmapped Chronicles, the Bixby Twins, and the Phoenix Tear. This is a companion novel to Casper Talk and the Everdark Wings. So these are the 2 books I am going to focus on today. So I'm going to take a little bit of time off, and then I'm going to pick up that book as my plan. But I'm going to organize my life a little bit. I do have off tomorrow, and today was a much better relaxing day for that. But yeah, so I'm going to go do that, get myself ready for my 24-hour readathon, and then I will come back when I start it and let you guys know what time so we can track 24 hours. Catch you guys in a bit. Bye. Here I'm back. I am going to start my readathon at exactly 6 o'clock or exactly 7 o'clock. So I'll kind of come in and I am going to start Girls Save the World then. But until then, I'm just going to read a little bit of something else that really has nothing to do with this reading vlog. But I am in the mood for some more historical fiction. So, historical romances. I don't know why. I'm just craving that recently. Maybe it's some escapism. I don't know. But I'm going to start this at 7 and I'll come on with you guys and officially start it. But I'm just going to read something for the next hour as I'm watching some peruse projects. So, talk to you guys in a bit. And I'll give you guys a wrap up if I wind up making any progress on My Fair Mistress. Told you I was interested in historical fiction romances. So, talk to you guys in a bit. Exactly 7 o'clock, so I am going to dive into Girls Save the World in this one by Ash Parsons. I'll probably read about 50 pages, and then I'll probably come in and give you guys a check-in, and we'll see how late it is. We'll see how I'm feeling. We'll see if I'm going to keep reading. That's kind of the plan. But yeah, so I'm going to go read, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. It's about 8 o'clock. I did wind up starting Girls Save the World in this one by Ash Parsons, and this book, again, has really shocked me from page 1. So I'm going to start with just the plot stuff, and then I'll kind of get into the element of this book that really did surprise me. But it basically follows these 3 girls, and they are going to a zombie con in their town, and it is like a massive convention. And they've had a falling out with one of their friends, like in the past 2 weeks. Her name is Blair, and she was supposed to go with them, but now she's not going with them, but they're all at the same convention. So that sounds cool. There's elements in this book I don't want to spoil, but it does say in the back that something does turn this con kind of on its head. So they go in, and the one thing I found so fascinating about this, first, all these characters are so unique, so different, so diverse. I love that. But the main character, June, has a learning disability, and it's the learning disability that I struggle with. And I can count on one hand the amount of books that I have read in my life, and I've read a lot of books that have even touched on learning disabilities, but that touch on a learning disability that I have, which is dyscalculia, which is a math learning disability, was just, I love seeing myself represented in books. I think the fandom elements in this book is great. It's kind of like a Walking Dead inspired convention that they're discussing in this book. But I'm loving the friendship dynamics. I think it's really important. But I also love that she really is, very upfront about that. And I just like that. I think that that's super, super good. Like, it's something I really don't read enough of seeing learning disabilities represented in contemporary fiction. But especially one that I have, like, I don't know how it's good, like, if it's going to become a big part of the book. The last one I read was a romance book, and the male character had dyscalculia. But yeah, solid representation, and I would not have expected going into this. So I'm also watching Coffee, Books, and Bullet Journals. She is doing NaNoWriMo this year. I love watching people vlog NaNoWriMo because I love hearing about all the possible stories that may come out of these amazing, like, couple of years. So I'm really excited to watch that. But they're doing like a writing sprint for like 2 hours. So I'm just gonna kind of watch up to the end of that and then see how far I get. So I'll probably update you guys like every like 50 pages to see, and then I'll probably do a wrap up at the end of the day or the end of the evening when I go watch some TV to kind of clarify. But really liking this so far. I mean, I'm only like 50 pages in. This book is massive, but I hope to at least make a little bit of progress before the end of that video. So I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Story here. I did wind up getting up to page like 104 in Girls Save the World in this one. I think I'm going to stop reading for the night. Still really enjoying it. I think we're finally getting some elements that things at this convention are not always what they seem. But the one thing I do like is that they had the autographing. Last year when I went to NYCC, New York City Comic Con, I got to meet the entire cast of Angel, which I thought was so cool. And I never spend my money on those things because I'm always on the floor. But I had a very, very similar experience than to the one June had, like when she was kind of meeting her idol or her favorite character. I'll see if I could put the pictures up on my Instagram of all the photos that I got. They're actually like right here on this wall. But yeah, I'll check in with you guys tomorrow morning when I wake up for the start of my 24-hour readathon, which I started tonight. And I'll see how much progress I'm able to make tomorrow. I get to page 100, and this book is about 400 pages. I think it's doable. I can finish it tomorrow, but we will see. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Here I'm back. It's about 8:30 on Columbus Day, which means I'm off, which is awesome. So I am going to start reading this in a bit. I'm actually going to do some Christmas crafting because I didn't wind up doing it over the weekend. I'm going to watch 2 episodes of Home Edit and just kind of like, it's super distracting. It's like a super like nice mind number. So I'm going to do that, watch 2 episodes of Home Edit, see how long that takes me, and then I will probably check in with you guys. I also did watch the first episode of Sabrina, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina again. At this point, I think I've watched that episode like 3 different times, but I feel like I understand it a little bit more after reading The Chilling Adventures of the Season of the Witch, the tie-in novel, the prequel novel. So I feel like I'm actually understanding it better. And I really like the cast of characters. I just think I understand it a little bit more. So I'm going to go start my Christmas crafting, and when I'm done watching 2 episodes of The Home Edit, which is a home decor show on Netflix, I will come back, check in with you guys, and then we're going to start reading this. My goal is to finish reading 2 books today. I will be taking breaks. I'm not reading like 24 hours, but that's my goal. So I'll talk to you guys when I'm ready to start reading. Bye. Here I'm back. It's definitely later than I thought. It's about 10:30. So I did wind up taking an extra half an hour. I kind of cleaned a little bit. I'm kind of going through a mid-quarantine cleaning phase because it looks like we may be getting that infamous second wave and we may be spending a lot of time indoors. So I've been trying to clean a little bit, organize. I donated like a bunch of books that I have underneath my desk, but I do feel a little bit better and I kind of organized a little bit. I'm still in the process of organizing. I still live with my parents, so I don't have that big of space, but I am trying to like pare down a lot, especially because at the earliest I'll be going to conventions in May. So I do have a lot of books I would like to tackle before then. But I am going to kind of sit down and start reading again The Girl Saves the World in this one. Right now I'm on page 104. I kind of left this on a little bit of a cliffhanger last night, so I want to keep reading. When I read about 50 more pages, I'll update you guys. My goal is by today is to finish this book and start another one. We'll see how that goes. But I'm going to go back to listening to the videos I was watching last night. The reading sprint ones where I can kind of read in the background. So I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Here I'm back. It's 11:22. I did wind up getting up to page 154 in The Girl Save the World in this one. It definitely has veered into a more of a zombie apocalypse story. And it's very interesting because you can definitely see elements of it kind of develop throughout the whole story. So I'm really liking that. It kind of reminds me of a mix of the Teen Wolf fandom and the Walking Dead fandom. That's the vibe I'm getting. I also like that it's very focused on female friendships and the complexity of that. It's also very focused on future, like what's going to happen next year when they're not in the same exact room. I think it's very reminiscent of a con experience, which I know all too well. So I'm going to take a little bit of a reading break, go get some lunch, and then I'm going to come back and I'll update you guys when I read about 50 more pages. Talk to you guys in a bit. Right here, it's about 12:17. I did wind up reading up to page about 200 in The Girl Save the World in this one by Ash Parsons. I'm still really enjoying it. I will admit, zombie books are not always my thing. They get a little bit too gory for me. So I'm just gonna go into that saying that it's not always my genre. I don't read a whole lot of zombie books. I think I've maybe read one in my life that was pure zombie, and that was the Susan Dinnerton thing, Something Strange and Lovely. That series, I read that a while ago. That was like the first series she ever wrote, and I liked it. I didn't love it, but I like Susan Dinnerton as a writer. So this book, I do like that it has like other elements. I like that the cast of this show is becoming a little bit more involved in the story. I do like that element, and I think that it's interesting because they're kind of all trapped in a convention center. So I think that that's, again, and as someone who's been in a convention center for so long, it's very interesting to see how this is all going to play out. But yeah, I'm going to keep reading, and I'll update you guys when I read about another 50 more pages. My goal, I think, today is to finish this. And then I don't think I'm going to be able to finish anything, so I'm probably just going to read the historical fiction Regency romance book that I'm in the middle of listening to. I'll probably buy it on my Kindle, and then I'll read that, and then I'll just keep listening to that this week when I'm done. But yeah, so I'm going to go back to reading The Girl Saves the World in this one, and I'll update you guys when I read about 50 more pages. Talk to you guys in a bit. Hey guys, Laura here. It's almost 2 o'clock. I did end up taking a small break. I worked out with my dad. I did my daily burn workout, which I try to do 5 times a week. So I was successful with that. And I did end up reading up to page 250 in The Girl Saved the World in this one. I really am liking it. I think I would have enjoyed this story a little bit more as like an action movie because I said this before, sometimes books that have very complicated battle sequences, I tend to get really lost in the details, but I'm enjoying it. I think it tells a lot of commentary about girls as superheroes and girl as leaders, and you have like an interesting dynamic of people that are working together, which you wouldn't necessarily have. You have fans versus actors in this TV show. I think that's a really cool dynamic. But you're also like in this very small location, and I know how big convention centers are. So I'm curious like what's happening in the rest of the convention center when this is happening to them. So hopefully we'll like expand our world a little bit and we'll see what's happening in the rest of the convention center. But I'm enjoying it. I mean, it's very, very fast paced. It's a fun read. I like that it has a lot of diversity for the characters. But some of the battle sequences, I tend to get a little bit lost in the details. But I am enjoying it. I think this would make a great, like, Netflix movie to film, like, over Halloween. Because I think it would be so fun. Because it definitely is zombies. And I'll say that. Zombies, I have said in previous clips, are not my chosen paranormal groups. Just because they don't really capture me. But I do like TV shows where there's, like, a hero. I do like that. So I like when they're kind of, like, saving the day. It reminds me a little bit of Buffy and stuff like that. So I am enjoying it. And I'm really happy with the representation of June at the start, which is Kalkia. That was really cool and excellent. I like how it's four friends that are kind of at the heart of this novel, and then you have the cast of a TV show, and they have their own dynamic, so that's super fun. So I'm gonna go back to reading, and I'll update you guys when I get up to page 300. This book has, according to my arc, it has like a little bit over 400 pages. So yeah, my goal is to finish this today. I think it's doable. But yeah, I'm going to go finish watching I have a lot of YouTube videos on as background noise. I'm watching Coffee, Books, and Bullet Journals, her videos, and they're really nice to watch as background noise. So I'm going to go do that, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Here I'm back. It's about 2:30, and I did wind up getting up to page 302 in Girl Saves the World in this one. This book is very fun, very, very fast paced. It is introducing one of my favorite tropes in all of contemporary reads. And I'm not going to give away the trope because it's going to ruin like the book, but I am liking it. It's definitely very zombie and battle heavy. And I said that before in like a lot of my reading vlogs. Like I tend to get a little bit lost in those details. If I have to watch a media like that, I prefer to watch it visually because I get a little bit lost in the details and like where they are and references, stuff like that. But it is fun. I like that the characters are very different. I like that it's dealing with a lot. I like that it really is a zombie apocalypse. And it's just so ironic that it's like in the middle of a zombie convention. That's kind of cool in general. But yeah, it's very, very fun. It's an enjoyable read. It's definitely like, I cannot imagine if this actually happened at a convention because I think I would like cry. But it's very, very interesting. I think the characters are very, very different. And yeah, they keep getting set. The one thing I like is that they keep the characters are keep being put in different situations with different characters. But again, it's kind of like you really don't want to get connected to anyone other than the three main girls in the story, because you don't think they're gonna last. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, I'm having a hard time feeling emotionally connected to anyone because I'm just so afraid that they're gonna like die. And then like that's kind of the nature of the beast. Like when I watch like a slasher movie or something, like I don't want to get invested in anyone but the main character because I feel like everyone else is kind of on the chopping block. So yeah, I'm on page 302. This book ends at 426. I think the arc is like structured a little bit differently. So yeah, I'm going to read another like 50 pages and then I'll come in and check in with you guys and give you guys my thoughts. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's definitely a fast-paced read. I think I'm definitely going to count this for the paranormal prompt in my game I'm playing for the All Hallows Readathon. And then if I wind up reading one I like a little bit more, I might change it. But right now, it's definitely fun, definitely engaging. Yeah, so I'm going to read a little bit more, and I'll check in with you guys when I read about 50 more pages, and then we'll see how I'm feeling then. Bye. Right here, it's about 3:30, and I am very close to the end. I'm on page 392 in Girl Saves the World in this one. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this and give you guys my full thoughts, and then I'm going to wrap up this reading vlog because it got really long, and I wasn't necessarily expecting it to be like 40 minutes. And I don't like my reading vlogs going that long because then I think they're a little bit tedious to watch. But yeah, I will definitely wrap it up, and my next reading vlog will kind of continue this readathon, and then I'll go into my next work week, which starts tomorrow. But yeah, I'm liking this. Definitely the pacing is a little bit wonky at points, I'll say that. And I struggle with big battle sequences because I think like when you know there's a lot of chances for death, you don't feel as connected to the characters. And that's what I feel. I feel like everyone we met after like the 50-page mark, I didn't feel super connected to. So I feel like it was hard to like be emotionally invested when all these characters suddenly died, just because I wasn't that invested in it. But I thought the setup was pretty cool. I think it was I've never read a con book like this. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of zombies. Right now, I would say it's probably like a 2.5, 3-star read. I'll probably bump it up to 3 just because I thought the representation was cool. I like the concept. I think it was the structure and the pace of it was a little bit off to me, and I didn't feel as connected to most of the characters. So I'm going to go finish this, and then I'll wrap it up, and then I'm going to start my next reading vlog. So I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. It's Lori here and back. I'm actually here to wrap up this part of my readathon because it's almost 4 o'clock, and I think that if I don't wrap up this reading vlog, it's going to be like an hour and a half long, and I don't want you guys to have to deal with that. But I did start Friday by finishing Sabrina, Seasons of the Wish by Sarah Reese Brennan. I thought this was actually really, really great. For me, who had started this TV series quite a few times, I always was a little bit lost because it's very different from Sabrina with Melissa Joan Hart. It's such a different lore, and I found this book to be super helpful in character motivations. I felt like the plot was really not the reason I was reading it. I really read it more for the character backgrounds, and I found that those to be super interesting. So I'll give this book like 3 stars. Honestly, for the character development and the relationships, it was more 4, but the plot was more like a 3. Like, it was okay, but I really wasn't reading it for that. I will definitely keep reading this series if I still feel a little bit confused in next seasons. I'll have to look up like the timology of that. So this was the first book that I finished. I finished this on Friday. So I started off the reading vlog finishing this. And then I've also been listening to Aru Shah and the Song of Death, which I'm actually liking a lot. I have about an hour and a half left. I'll probably finish listening to that tomorrow when I'm actually commuting. But again, so I started off the reading vlog with this, still reading Aru Shah, and then I picked up Conquest. A majority of this reading vlog was about Comic-Con and New York City Comic-Con because this week was supposed to be New York City Comic-Con, but that didn't happen due to COVID. So I picked up this one. I found this book to be super adorable. I'll say that. It was like a perfect con read. So fun. It just followed these 2 characters who went to a con, and they were also in the middle of a scavenger hunt. I gave this book 4 stars. It had a lot of diversity. It had autism. It also had some other diverse things, and I just found it to be great. Sam Maggs is such a fun writer, and I love books about cons, but also scavenger hunts. I felt this book was a perfect mix of both of those novels, and I would definitely read more by her in the future. And then the last book that wrapped up this reading vlog was Girls Save the World in This One by Ash Parsons. I just found out finishing this one. I will admit, I like this. I thought that it had, again, some really cool representation like in this book. I love the con setting. This was basically a con, like what happens if a zombie apocalypse happens in your comic book convention or like an attack happens, which is so scary. But it was really interesting. I liked it. Again, I always feel this way even when I watch like action, horror, slasher movies. I have a hard time feeling connected to the characters because I'm so afraid everyone's just going to die on me. And that's kind of the thoughts I had with this one. It was fun. It was a fast-paced read. I enjoyed it. I just didn't feel as connected to the characters that I wish I did. But it did have some of my favorite tropes, and I was happy that I wound up picking it up. So I am gonna finish this reading vlog or this readathon in my next one because I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish anything by 7 o'clock tonight. But I'm gonna toss that in my next reading vlog. Let me know if you have been reading any con reads or if you've been reading any books about travel or escapism because that's kind of what I've been doing. I've been kind of floating into my desire to travel. It's funny, I was watching, I think Haley in Bookland, and she has a book she's trying to get published about travel, and she's like, oh my god, will this book never get published because, like, people can't travel anymore? I'm like, I think it's the opposite. I am so looking for escapism in my reads. So, I hope that book gets published because it looks super interesting. But I'm going to go start my next reading vlog for you guys for my work week, and I'll speak to you guys then. Bye, guys.